Good afternoon, everyone. Our next session will be on social networks, and speaker will be Professor Niloy Ganguly. Professor Niloy Ganguly is an associate professor in the Department of CSE, IIT Kharagpur, where he leads the Complex Networks Research Group. He has received his BTech from IIT Kharagpur and his PhD from Beshushi, and worked as a postdoctoral fellow in Technical University, Dresden, Germany. His research interests are in peer-to-peer networks and social networks in particular, and distributed dynamic networks in general. He also works on applying complex networks methodology in various information retrieval problems. Professor Ganguly has published more than 110 papers in various journals and conferences. He is also the co-author of the book entitled Dynamics on and of Complex Networks, Applications to Biology, Computer Science, Economics and the Social Sciences, published by Birkhausen Springer. He is presently regular member of the IEEE COMSOC and member of ACM. Now I welcome Professor Ganguly on the stage to deliver his speech.
How many of you have heard talk on social network? That is important. Good. Yeah, so that I can repeat something which I have before told. Most of you are from ISI or outside? Outside. Okay. So, as you know, it is always very difficult to speak after showman. So, let me give it a try, and let us hope that I can catch you at it. So, although the topic is on text mining, I will tackle with something related with search. And I guess the last comments of Showman was search in social networks is a very important and upcoming topic. So this is our work on topical search in Twitter, and I will go on explaining various things, various problems about search in Twitter and how we go on to tackle it. Okay. So interestingly, what is happening is, to think carefully, a social network is a web within web. Twitter or Facebook is a web by itself, and so this web within web, actually requires specialized techniques, and like vertical search, like we search on travel. Okay, that's a vertical search, or there's an enterprise search, vertical search, or even Google Scholar is some sort of vertical search. So this is also some sort of vertical search where the requirements or the people's information requirements are actually a bit different than general web search. So, like in many using Twitter? How many? Okay. So big number. So what I have personally using Twitter, what I have found is the best in Twitter is that it's very good for searching trending topics and breaking news. So it immediately gives you a lot of information about trending topics and breaking news. So I personally remember one incident which I I was facing a Gmail problem sometimes back, and I couldn't log in. And initially, I thought that the IIT network is infamous, so that was creating the problem. Somehow it didn't work, and I was trying to find in internet what is happening. Then I went to Twitter and just typed Gmail, and immediately I was seeing that there were many tweets coming where people were complaining. So this sort of information actually cannot be found in the traditional way. So this type of breaking news, trending topics, topical information, basically which can be classed into more scientific term, topical information cannot really be found in web. Okay. So when we do topical search, we identify topical attributes, expertise of user, searching for topical experts, and searching for information on specific topics. So see, unlike the web, where we have like page rank, okay, topic sensitive page rank, okay. So there is a web as such. Means there is a hypergraph or a graph at the back. Here, if you think that hypergraph or graph really doesn't exist, it exists maybe in some abstract sense, but it is more user dependent. Some user is reading something that may not be linked with others. There is a graph. That graph is the user graph. If you think some user is tweeting something, some user is follower of somebody, so that follower graph is there. But really, the tweet doesn't have any graph. There is a small graph which is a retweet graph, but that is a sparse graph. So really nothing efficient can be done with that. Okay. So I guess to understand the difference in scenario and the problems which are there. And then again, the big problem of this is like you have 140 characters, so standard NLP also really doesn't work. So you have to have some sort of so you understand that in general techniques we have two parts. One is standard NLP technique, another is the link structure. So these two are not so straightforward in a social network. When we think about this, any algorithm, when we think whether Dr. Chakraborty was talking about focus search, etc. So there are two things which is continuously going. One is the link, another is the content, and it is generally difficult to leverage either of them. Okay. So the third technique then would be like having a machine learning approach, trying to find scattered features from here and there, put it in SVM and try to find out something. So this is what we approach, that if we don't have structures, if we don't have good content, then ultimately we leave it to machine learning and try to extract something. So that has been the general approach here. That so there was a Wisdom 2011 paper where people took 15 features from tweets, like all sorts of features, how big, what were the most common words, etc., etc., how many times retweet. So why is, just to understand why this approach has to be taken, because none of the signals were strong enough to really move forward. None of the signals were really strong enough to move forward. Fine. So that's why people were using actually many features to find out the network. Okay. So if you see Wisdom, this top conferences, they were actually harping around the same idea of ML training learning of various weak signals. Okay. And also follow. There is a client called we follow. There is a client called we follow. So all these methodologies are not public, but most of these are actually using various weak signals to come. So that is the general idea. Clear? So again, what are the weak signals? Let us just go through and think for all those who are using Twitter. They will know that there may be screen name. So we have a screen name, we have a bio. That can be a signal. What are the hashtags? What are the retweets? That can be a signal. And the social graph, how important I am in the social graph. So you use some sort of page rank correlate here, where you, instead of applying page rank on the web graph, you are applying page rank on the social graph. Okay, right? So this is how things were going. So again, weak is not a problem perhaps. Okay, weak is a problem, but we can go with weak. But if it makes it wrong, then that is a difficult thing. Okay. So what happens is, if you see that bio often, you can hear me? So bio often doesn't give meaningful information. Okay. So most of our bios, if you go back and see that those sometimes contain some meaningful information, many times doesn't contain meaningful information, and ultimately bios are unvetted. Okay. So nobody has really checked the bio. So yeah, through our measurement studies, we found that there are a lot of instances where this bio is wrong. So as such, the bio is wrong. Okay. So that creates a lot of problem. So is my sound voice going?
Voice is dropping.
Yeah, it's dropping. No? Okay. Is it coming now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, and tweets posted by users will have this problem like typically after you go out from this talk, please go and visit like Shah Rukh Khan's web page, okay, Twitter page, and you will see that Shah Rukh Khan is talking about everything other than cinema. Okay. So that tweet posted by users contains a lot of day-to-day conversation, which actually hinders the topical information. So you cannot really get topical information. So yeah, you will see that this will go on for my talk will go on for some times, and it will show many things and many publications. But actually, this is one slide which will say what we have done. Okay. This is one slide which will say actually what we have done. So what is there that instead of using all these signals, we use a different way to infer topics of expertise from individual Twitter users. So what is happening? The idea is very simple, that all of us make groups in Facebook. Okay. So similarly, in Twitter, people make lists. People make lists. Okay. In Twitter, groups are called lists. Okay. So this is what is it's called lists. So, but like Facebook is a more social network. Okay, whereas Twitter is more of an information network. Okay. Where information is passed. So these lists are more topical than, like in Friends we have batchmates. But in Twitter, when we make lists or when people make lists, they write like politician, movies, cookbook, etc. etc. So the lists which are formed are more topical lists. Okay. There are lists of batchmates, etc. But there are a lot of lists where you write topics like doing in, so this is falling continuously. Now you can hear me? No. Yeah, I am understanding this. So see, these are the some of the lists which are formed. Okay. So like news description is news media accounts and members are New York Times, BBC News, Wall Street Journal, CNN, Break, etc. Okay. Then you have music, musician, Eminem, Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, etc. Okay. Politics, politicians and people who talk about this. Okay. So these are normal users who are actually. Can I open this? So this can be heard. Yeah. Okay. So you understand that there is. Anyway, so. Okay, so you understand that how people are making lists? People are making lists or groups by some topic, fine? So as you know that in Twitter it's not like reciprocal links. You follow people. So what are you doing? You are trying to gather information about various topics. That is the main aim of Twitter. So let us see how list works. So like you see Pete Cashmore, okay. Pete Cashmore has a lot of list. Like you see his account name is Mashable, his Twitter handle is Mashable, okay. And he has like Mashable list like Mashable/news, Mashable/tech, Mashable/design, okay. So these are accounts. And so what is happening when he has news? So this is a news is a list, okay. And he has the accounts New York Times, BBC News, Wall Street Journal, CNN Break, etc. Okay. Then you go, he has a music account where he has these people around. Okay. So, and then he is also interested about food, where you have Cookbook, Epicurus, LA Times, Tyler Florence, famous cook. Okay. So what is happening? See, unconsciously, what is Pete Cashmore doing? If we think carefully, unconsciously, what is Pete Cashmore doing? Pete Cashmore is basically telling, or basically is voting that New York Times is an expert in news. Okay. Unconsciously, for his own, because he wants to organize the tweets and he doesn't want the tweets to come in a, he wants to have tweets topically organized and he doesn't want unorganized tweets. So what is happening? Unconsciously, he is actually organizing the tweets and waiting for some people, waiting that New York Times is a news expert or Lady Gaga is a musician, okay, or like Tyler Florence is a good cook. Okay. So somehow the first question which we had, that if Tyler Florence writes that I am a good cook, that doesn't mean anything. It is not vetted. So who can vet it? Tell me, who can vet it? So there can be one sort of vetting that Twitter can vet. Okay. Twitter sees this person and vet it. Okay, this is the right person. Or people who are following, people who are looking at his tweets will get. Okay. So this is the signal which is going on in the social network. So although social network is complex, people are actually leaving signals. So it is for us to collect this. And try to think, this is a stronger signal than all the other signals which we were talking. Okay. Because this is something which is told by the mass, which can be crowdsourced. So there can be a voting also. Now there is a lot of possibilities going on, that if some 10 people say somebody movie actor, then he becomes a movie actor. Okay. So there can be a lot of crowdsourcing. Okay. So this is in small the entire talk which will go on, which we will develop slowly. Okay. So now let us give you some cool examples like Barack Obama. If you see Barack Obama, you will see that news and politics, interests, national government, true patriot, international. So these are the places, these are the list where Barack Obama has been. Okay. Amitabh Bachchan, see famous actors, Bollywood celebrities. Okay. So these are the attributes which has been given to Amitabh Bachchan. Fine. So once we have this, then we did a huge system study, huge system launching. So what we did, we collected list of all 55 million Twitter users, the first 55 million Twitter users. So if you go to Twitter and try to crawl, you will see that each Twitter user has a number. Okay. And that number goes on like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we collected all the lists formed by all the Twitter users, all the first 55 million Twitter users. Okay. And we found 88 million lists. Okay. We found 88 million lists collected in this. Okay. And all studies considered 1.3 million users. And then what we did, we told that maybe once or twice there may be some mistakes. So at least somebody to be an expert should be listed 10 times, means by 10 different users. By 10 different. Okay, by 10 different users. 10 is nothing sacrosanct, so you can take 10, 5. Okay. So all studies considers 1.3. In this way, you got 1.3 million users, 1.3 million users who are included in 10 or more lists. Okay, you got 1.3 million users who are 10 or more. And most list names. So there were all sorts of NLP techniques. Simple NLP techniques were used. So most list names were description in English, but significant fractions were also in Portuguese and French. We had some sort of like politicals was made to politics, etc. So now this data set has come. So this is the signal which we identified, and then we did this huge crawling which went on for like 6 months. We were crawling, and the graduate students were getting anxious that no paper will come out. But anyway, so we went on crawling for 6 months and got all this data. Okay, and then we begin to build services. So the first service is called Who is Who. Okay. So identifying topical attributes of users. So giving Partho in Twitter will tell that what are the attributes of Partho. Okay. So this is the service which we want to build. Okay. So now let me tell you the idea. So here is Ashton Kutcher. Okay. So Ashton Kutcher has, again it's dropping. Signal is dropping. It's coming. Okay. Ashton Kutcher, you have like TV, movie TV, Hollywood, stars, entertainment, celebrities, celebs, Hollywood. These are the attributes which has been attached to Ashton Kutcher. So what we are doing, we collect lists containing a given user use, list names, description collected into a document of the given user, and then we did like handle, camel, case folding, domain specific stop words, nouns and adjectives, And also based on edit distances, we took the French, Portuguese, and so standard small NLP tasks. Okay.
What is camel case?
This is camel case.
Okay, 2 words.
Yeah, means we many times write the capital letters. Okay. Fine. Okay. So from there we begin to get, and then topics for you along with the, so then we get topics for you along with the frequencies in the document. So we now have a document which has been processed, and what we have in the end, we have an inverted list where you have topics for you along with the frequencies in the document, right? And just see, there has been many lists like Bollywood actors who have been failure. If you go to the list, there are many such lists, but we have only considered unigrams and bigrams. So we have only considered unigrams. So now let us see some of the results. So the first is like, so still it works very good for US, in US context, where because there is a lot of data. In Indian context, not much data is there. So sorry about that, I am taking most of the US examples. So like Chuck Grassley. So Chuck Grassley is a so he is a senator. Okay. So what are the things coming? See, politics, senator, Congress, government, Republican, Iowa, GOP. GOP is Grand Old Party, okay, conservative. So it is coming, not only is politician, he is from Iowa, he is a conservative. Okay. See, Claire Maxwell, politics, Senate, government, Congress, Democrats, Missouri. So the state from which she is coming, government, and also it's coming that she is a woman. No? So that is coming. No? Everything is coming out. Okay. So Ashton Kutcher is celebs, actor, famous, movies, comedy, funny, music, Hollywood, pop culture. Linux Foundation, Linux, Tech, Open Software, Libre, JNU, computer, developer, Ubuntu, Unix. So most of the relevant things are coming out. So let us see list versus other. So this is what is coming out, but what was happening with the other? Oh, what was happening with the other weak signals? Okay. So let us read Ashton Kutcher's bio. Okay. So you can go and also read it now. Ashton Kutcher's bio is like, I make stuff, actually I make up stuff, stories mostly, collaborations of thoughts, dreams and action, that's what you understand. Okay, so nothing is understood basically. So, and most common words from that which is another signal which Cottown and Paul was taking. So that is like love, daily, people, time, GY, movie, video, life, happy, game, cool. Okay, no signal. Basically, these are no signals. Okay. Although people were telling these are weak signals, immediately if you do a good measurement study, you will see these are no signals. Okay. So anything you put in a SVM, something will come out. Okay. So, but you have to actually see what you are putting into the SVM. And see, the most common words from lists are celeb, actor, famous, movie, stars, comedy, music, Hollywood, pop culture. The exact things which can perhaps represent aspect. Okay. So this is another interesting thing of Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon is a comedian in USA, important comedian, and what he writes in his you can see, everybody can see?
Yes, sir.
So in his bio he writes he is an astrophysicist. Okay. And interestingly, see, this is what? This is verified account. What does verified account mean? That Twitter has actually verified that this is the real Jimmy Fallon's account. Okay. And it is written astrophysicist. So as soon as you put in Twitter whom to follow service, astrophysicist, Jimmy Fallon comes first. And see the most common words from his tweets: Fallon, happy, from list you see things are coming: celeb, funny, humor, music, movies, laugh, comics, television, entertainment. All the important signals. Right? So now we develop at home. So how many of you are using computer? So please try to. Yeah. How many of you have laptop? So please try to use this. Okay? This URL: http twitter.com/@mpisws. Not many. Okay. So fine. So here is an example of Armstrong, Lance Armstrong. That you see the sports international. So this is a service. As soon as you drop it, it will give you a tag cloud of the users. Okay. So like sports, international, life, inspirational, deport, business news, media, cancer, athlete, fitness, celeb. So I have actually consciously kept. So this is a word that you see it was published in 2012. So now it is like 1.5 years gone. But I have purposefully kept this slide because see this slide should change. Huh? All of you agree this slide should change? Because